Hello everyone! Today is one of the most favorite topics, which is the test purchase. For me personally, it's not a big surprise that most of the stones which you see on TV shows, YouTube channels, Instagram profiles and even online shops are not what they're claimed to be. Dozens of people send me the links to the internet shops or screenshots of a gemstone and a price, asking for my advice or help or explanation why this kind of a gemstone is cheaper than it's supposed to be. If it's a good deal or not, if you can trust the seller or not. For example, quite recently, a few dozens of you sent me the link to the Instagram profile to the shop, which is called Silverstone Rose. I had a very quick look at the prices and told people who had asked me immediately that it's 100% fakes, because there cannot be so low price for the gemstones which they describe. So as usual, instead of arguing with those who don't believe me, I decided to prove my words with actions. Therefore, I just ordered a few stones from that shop. So the first part of the stones looked like that. We bought 3 so-called emeralds. The width is 1 cm and 40 mm, and the length is 1 cm. And I also decided to buy the star sapphire. The first set price was about $60, and the second set of precious star sapphires cost me about $80. Those of you, my friends, who with me for quite a long time, most probably would know the answer already. However, there were people who still try to prove their point of view and persuade me that those people sell a real true nature untreated precious emeralds and star sapphires for that low price. I still wonder why people believe the expensive appearance. It looks like as if someone is wearing a Dolce & Gabbana costume and driving Maybach. That means it's the 100% honest person who wouldn't lie to you. Of course that is not true, my dear friends, but who am I to judge? So what have I got? Yep, the right answer, I have got the laboratory certificate. So let's have a look, what do we have there? Black and white. This one issued by MSU, Gemological Center in Moscow. You can see that it's properly signed and protected with a special watermark. And in the upper left corner you can see the number. For those who are not familiar with the procedure of reading the gemological certificate, you need this number to check the information about your gemstone on the website of the laboratory which issued this certificate. So you just jump on the website, input the number, and see if this gemological test was actually run by the mentioned laboratory. You will also need a date when the test was done. This method helps you to avoid the frauds when people get some randomly printed out certifications, which are not confirmed by the laboratory on their online resources. And in the modern certificate, there is even a QR code which does exactly the same job but quicker. So let's check. Do you see the photo of the ring in the certificate? It's exactly the same one which I have in my hands right now. You can see the star actually right now because we're sitting in the apartment and the light is quite dim. However, I honestly checked the star. It does appear if you go outside. So no misleading in that at least. Now let's see what did they write about the stone in the laboratory. It says synthetic sapphire. And the price of such a stone is probably $1, maximum $2. The second case is even more interesting. So let's do the procedure all over again. See the number? Here is the date if you need that. You can just go online and check it by yourself if you want. You can also zoom to scan QR code to double check it if you're curious, and I do encourage that actually. Just 1 second. I will zoom it so you could definitely scan it. Yes, now that's better. Now just the visual check. Looks exactly the same way as on the picture. Let me zoom it in. As you can see already, it's really heartbreaking to call such a piece of green pebble an emerald. However, they claimed it to be it. And the certificate says that this stone has nothing to do with emeralds, as it's a natural selemonite. It's not even a beryl glazed with glass, which is the most common type of the emerald forgery, or treated and glazed piece of corundum. It is just totally and absolutely different type of stone. However, let's not jump to conclusions. Who knows, maybe it's a really precious stone. Let's read what do we have here in comments. I will translate it for you. It says that this piece of a stone is also slightly treated. If to be specific, it's colored. One more quick look. There are signature stamps and everything what you need to verify the certificate. So, as you can see, I'm definitely not trying to take you in. So I guess there is nothing much to discuss about this star sapphire, which is just a synthetic one. And therefore it's a boring type of a case. However, we could discuss this selemonite a little bit. Let's have a look how it's presented in a natural form. Pay your close attention, please. This is a photo number 1. This is a photo number 2. And finally, photo number 3. As you can see with your own eyes, this kind of stone looks more like a rock rather than the gemstone. Just for you to compare, I will show you how does beryl stone look like. This kind of stone is also often colored and glazed, so to be sold as an emerald. But I would say that this is a bit prettier way to fake an emerald. So let's have a look at the pictures. Those beryls are very low quality ones, and they're usually used to create a fake emerald. This is also a type of a beryl, and another one. This one looks pretty though. I would buy it actually, just because I like the stones with fancy inclusions. And that is also a beryl. However, in our case they didn't even buy a beryl. They took some kind of a rock, colored it, glazed with glass, and sold it as a real emerald. Can we call it a fraud? Relying on my previous education in jurisdiction, I would say yes. Can you try to sue those people? I would say absolutely. So we try to communicate with them. Just let me find where do I have this chat among thousands of other chats which are opened on my phone. So we told them that your stones appear to be fakes, and they responded like, why do you think so? So we just sent them the certificate. As you can guess, there were no many moves left for them after it. They tried to find the way around, explaining that we as a buyer hadn't asked about the origin of a stone, and they perceived this type of sapphire as a grown one, not a natural. However, you won't find even a hint on the artificial origin of a stone on their product description or advertisement or posts. Regarding selemonites, they try to persuade me that this is actually a super rare and highly valuable stone, which is even better than beryl. However, they agreed to accept the stones back and return the money. We haven't attempted yet. However, I have a suspicion that no money would be returned, so it's 100% forgery. And yes, you could try to get your money back and go to the court. However, I guess it would cost you much more money, time and efforts than both of these sets. So I asked a few more questions, like how I was supposed to understand that your emerald is not actually a real emerald, and a sapphire is not actually the natural sapphire, and who is going to reimburse the money which was spent on certifications and on taxes both ways. And they never cared to try to offer me the compensation for that kind of expenses or inconvenience, as they claimed that the certification is our initiative and they would provide the information about the origin or treatment by the request. So according to their logic, when you buy a stone, for example an emerald, you shall ask, are you sure that it's an emerald or maybe it's something else? Maybe just a pebble or a rock covered with glass or paint. Again, they claim that their stones are not fake, they're just treated. However, the treated emerald is a real emerald, which would be proved by the laboratory, just treated with oil. The treated sapphire is normally the sapphire which was heated or glazed with glass. All of these examples shall be clearly pointed out when the stone is being sold. In our case, we had one stone, which is not a treated natural sapphire, but an artificial sapphire, which are two different things. And we had a selemonite, which also has nothing to do with emerald, high, medium or low quality. They tried to share with me the screen, where there were very specific form of abbreviation, which might help the reader to understand that the stone is artificially created. However, I'm sure that the post was edited just to send the screenshot to me, because after our conversation it was deleted from the account at all. And I also saved the screenshot of the emerald stone which I bought. There it was described as a natural emerald. And as you saw it, it's 100% not true. Let's scroll a little bit. Another sapphires with a star. Also no mentions that this is artificially grown one, even though I'm sure that they are. One more example. Also no mentions about artificial origin. One more gorgeous set of rubies and emeralds. No mentions that these are not actual rubies or emeralds. One more example with some huge earrings made in a very weird design. Again, no comments on the origin of a stone. And on the one hand, I could just leave those and similar type of guys alone without exposing them. However, they're actually harming not just people who buy from them. They also harm the general reputation of gemstone sellers. Like me, for example. Because when you see that the natural emerald can cost $50, would you believe that it can be sold actually for $10,000 or $100,000? Of course not. So some people start blaming me for selling the stones too expensive and suspecting me in forgery, which is a very sweet idea to believe in, especially if you want to trust someone who kindly asks just a few dozens of dollars for a precious stone. It's just one example of hundreds. I chose this specific account just because, as I told you before, I have got many inquiries and complaints associated with it from you. So I decided to speak the truth in order to minimize the negative effect of that little entrepreneurship in the future. And I would also ask personally the guys who are doing that kind of business, please, be honest with your buyers. Because people who spend those $50, $70 or $100, they're not very much rich people obviously. You are probably taking the last money from naive folks who just wanted to make a nice present to their wives or daughters, or grandpas and grandmas and so on. This is not good. And this is not worth of it. So stay safe, take care of yourself and be reasonable. See you later. Bye bye.